Hi everyone, it's another day, another share. It's a tutorial day. I want to, before I get into the tutorial, if you like this kind of videos and you want to see more of them, please subscribe and ring the bell to get notification of when I upload. Okay, so that's my message. All right, so I have the big box. Those of you who have been following me, I have done, I think, 3 projects. I can't remember how many projects, but I have another one. I'm going to show you how to do string blocks. And we have all these scraps in this box, and I have decided that I will show you different ideas. And I think this is, I can't remember how many we've done. I think I've 1, 2, 3 at least out of this box, at least 3. So here we go. I'm going to grab some of these and I'm just going to pull some of this out. And I have all sorts of size stuff in here. And I'm just, I want this one. I'm just pulling. I don't care what I have. Oh, I have some white. Oh, I have some little pieces. Oh, I have some off-whites. I'm going to grab, oh, I love this one. Oh, this one's a long one. Yeah, pretty long. I'll just throw that in there. I'm going to grab these. This one. Oh, I like this stripe. I can go on. Oh, I have some small pieces in reds. I can cut those down too. I'm going to dig down a little deeper and see what I have. Oh, I have some off-whites there. I'm going to pop that in there. Oh, I have another purple. So I'm just grabbing a few and, oh, I'm going to definitely use some of that. All right. Oh, that piece. Okay. Oh, wait, that piece. And I don't care what I'm grabbing. I'm just grabbing colors that are in here. And I really, I don't care what I use because it's all going to be a mishmash, right, at the end. All right. So I'm just going to get this box out of the way. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to be working on. Hold on. I have a glass of water here. All right. So this is what we're going to work on. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take some white fabric, muslin, or you can do it on paper and do it and tear off the paper. But I'm leaving this fabric in. I'm going to leave it in. So we have these squares. I have cut them at 8.5 inches. And what I've been finding is the fabric gets pulled in as we, and I should have known this, but hey, it gets pulled in a little bit. So you'll see here that it's not quite lined up, but I'm cutting the finished blocks at 8.5. Now, if you want to make sure that this stabilizing fabric or any type of fabric is the same size as your actual cut also, then what I suggest is if you want a finished 8-inch block, you need an 8.5-inch cut, then cut these pieces at 9 inches, and then you'll have, like, even if there's pulling, you'll have, and then you can just square them up. So that's my idea. Now, let's switch over to the above camera, and we're going to start prepping some of these pieces. Now I have my iron going, and I'm just going to, these were biased. Some of them are 2.5, some of them are 2.25. I have seams in there. I don't care. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take one of these blocks and we're going to put a piece down the center. And you want to cut these a little bit bigger than the physical size of your stabilizer. Now I'm using, for this fabric here that I'm keeping in after it's all sewn, I'm using a Kona white. I do not suggest that you use an off-white or anything, because if you end up having light fabrics like this, if this is a dark fabric, it's going to darken this fabric on you. So I suggest using a white for your foundation pieces. Now, I'm just going to take another piece. Is this long? That's not long enough. Oh, maybe this I can cut down. Yeah, I'm just going to cut this. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and iron out the... And I'm actually going to cut this down the center like this. And because we want these things to be different sizes, because it makes more interest. So these are called string blocks, and they're great to use up leftovers. So I'm going to put that one there. And I don't care if it's perfect. I'm going to just move over to the sewing machine. Oh, wait, hold on. I made a mistake. So the first thing, before you move, I want to pin this down. I don't want that shifting on me. The center one's shifting on me. So I'm just going to take these little tiny pins, and I'm just going to put 3 pins down the center through the stabilizer. I'm going to call the background fabric as a stabilizer fabric. That's a long one. I don't know why that's in there. Anyways, so there we go. And then now I'm just going to put this like this, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch. So the rules are, the sewing rules for your seam allowance and everything are the same. So here we are, and I'm just going to, I have my 1/4 inch foot on, and we're going to just sew down a 1/4 inch all the way. And these come together quite quickly. So you could do a whole bunch. You can do a whole bunch and then sew them quite quickly. Now I can remove these pins and I can iron this. This is going to be very tiny, but that's okay. And I'm going to actually get rid of this little thread. Now I'm going to look for another one, and I'm going to sew it on this side because I want to stabilize this fabric. Okay, so I think I'll use this one. Yeah. Oh, I guess I'll be opening that up. I don't know why it's like that, but anyways, who knows what I use this for. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm not going to cut this one down. I'm going to leave it at its full width. And I'm just going to sew it to the other side of the black. And then this way the black is stabled and everything's ready to go. All right, back to the sewing machine. There we go. Almost done this one. And now we're going to iron this. Now we're going to iron this. And I'm going to get rid of these threads. So they're just going to get in the way. Now I think I'll put a wide one here. Maybe this red. Yeah, okay. I'll put this wide one. I'll put a wide one there. And sew that down. So this is a great way to get rid of bias leftovers or strips leftovers. You can have a lot of fun with this, and you can make a whole bunch when you have the chance. And okay, so let's go over to the sewing machine again. Now you want to sew a little bit past the actual foundation fabric. because you're going to square this up. So you want to make sure that you're not having open seams or anything. So you really do need to have your pieces a little bit wider than the physical finished size that you want, because then you're going to square that up, and I will show you that when I get there. Oops, I forgot to do the overhead camera. So I just ironed this. Now I'm going to put something here, but I think I'm going to get a thin one. So what do we want for thin? I think I'll use this one. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this. Now, if you look closely, I have two fabrics here. This particular bias, I just used leftover of all my different fabrics that were in the quilt, and that's what I did. I don't care. They are on the bias, and that's what I like about doing this, because we can just use the bias. Now I want this thinner. I don't want to do a full size. So we're just going to cut down the center, roughly. Now I could have cut right on that fold line before I sewed it, before I ironed it, I should say. And then I'm just going to sew that back to the sewing machine. Now, if you have a little mini iron, you can set yourself up with a wool mat on a table, and then you never have to. You can just have your scraps close by in a bag, or be more organized. And then you can just pull from the scrap bag and cut and iron, and then turn straight, turn your chair towards the sewing machine again. Now here we are. So that's a tiny little piece, and I think I'm going to put a bigger piece. I just want to, oh, that's not going to be, so you know what, but it will fit over here. So I think what I might do is grab another piece. Oh, there's this white single. So I'm going to put a white there. I think I'm going to put a small white. I think this one's 1.5 inches wide. Just going to give this a quick iron. And I think I'll just put that there. Make sure I have the right sides. Yeah. And I'll just sew that on, and then we can just go ahead and finish this one off, and I'll show you how I square it up. I have some threads to cut. So now I'm just going to iron that, and then there's a piece that I can put there, and then I'll close up the other side. So I think this is going to be nice. So it's not that hard to do. It's very fun. I'm finding this quite relaxing, and I'm using up scraps that I've had for years in this bit. And actually this box, I've had it for years, and I've been filling it up, not knowing what I want to do with the fabric. And I've come up with several ideas that you can do with this fabric. And here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not switch to the sewing machine, but I guess you don't really need to see every stitch that I sew, or every seam that I sew. So that side is completely done, and now we're going to finish off this side. And I'm thinking I will do another fabric. I don't think this is going to be, no, see, I'll need to do a small one. So I'm going to take this piece here. I'm just going to give it a good ironing because it's really hard to cut. So just a quick iron. And then I'm just going to sew on that. I'm going to cut on that iron. So that fold line that was there for the bias. And I'm just going to iron that again. Right sides together. And back to the sewing machine. There we go. So we're almost finished this. I think one more piece will do it. One more piece will do it, and then we'll... Now, you could use, for the foundation, you could use just paper and tear it out, like I said, or you can use a lighter fabric that is very light, so maybe not. I chose to use a Kona cotton in white, and the reason why we want to use something that doesn't show through and distort the colors that we have. Now, I'm just going to use this fabric here to close up that little end that's left. Now, these make really fun blocks. And you can put them into, and I'll show you, as soon as I get this one done, I'll square this one up. And then I'll show you some ideas on placement to turn them into something bigger. There, that looks really good. I'm really pleased with that. And we're going to now there it is. It doesn't look much like anything. I'm just going to take these pieces and actually move all this out of our way. And all right. So the next thing I need to do is, I'm just going to clean up a little bit so I don't have anything that can hurt my cutting board or my... So here we are. I have my rotary cutting board, my turning one, makes life a little simple. I have an 8.5 inch square ruler. It's 8.5. Just going to get rid of that. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to line up and center up. Now, like I said, there's some shrinkage. You know, you're sewing this way, one way, and then you're sewing this way, the other way, and there will be some shrinkage. Like I said earlier, I'm just going with the flow. I don't care. As long as they're squared up pretty good. Just going to move that before I burn myself. And we're going to turn this. There we go. And I really don't care if it's not exact. The white fabric is covering all the strip fabrics. And there it is. That's done. That's how easy it is. Super, super easy. When you sew these blocks together, just be careful that these don't flip back on you. So I'm just going to get this out of the way. I'm going to put this is garbage now. I'm not keeping, this is a great way to get rid of scraps. You can keep some of those scraps if you're an English paper piecing and keep them to do a scrappy, tiny hexagon if you want, whatever. All right, so I have only 3 done. So you could do a bullseye where you bring them together and a third one here. A fourth one, I should say. And you could do something like that. Or you could do something, let me think, like this, where you have the bullseyes, but then when you put them together, it's still going to do a bullseye. Now, what you could do is put them all in the same direction. So they're all going like this. And you can just sew them together like that. And it doesn't matter if your seams match up or not. That's not, there's a reason why we're doing this, because we don't want them to match up. And you just put them all in, so everything's going in the same direction. You can do that. You can put a little sashing, putting them all together the same way, put a sashing, or you could bullseye them with a sashing. So there's lots and lots of, and what I mean by bullseye, there's a square in the center and they all kind of do a God's eye. I think it's called a God's eye. So there's lots you can do after you get your blocks all done. And that's how simple it is. I think I'm going to do more of these and maybe do some kind of table topper or something like that. So I am super, super pleased with this project. And if you're interested in seeing more, take the time, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. I upload every week a video. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.